You know, you know what? All my Walking Dead videos, I say, you know what? Rick, everybody knows this. Rick will die. He will either die, heroically, brutally, or go off like, just naturally, honestly. But he will die. And that torch will be carried to Carl. If Carl lives throughout, this is a big if, Carl, because anybody could, die. Carl could die, and then Rick could say, fuck, man, Carl's dead. I'm donezo. That could happen. But let's just say Carl lives, throughout. He grows up, this and that. As you can see, my question: do you think Robert Kirkman will continue with Carl on this Walking Dead comic book series? I think he'll continue a little bit, but I think it won't be, it'll have Carl growing up, but I think just he won't have a long as of a run with, let's say Rick. Or he could definitely end it where Rick dies and, you show Carl like a prologue, Carl pretty much is grown up, he's running it, and everything's fine and dandy. He's with Lydia or Sophia or some Mexican chick. Who knows? Get the Mexican chick. But you know what? It's interesting. I want Carl. It just seems like it feels like the torch is already being passed to Carl. Carl is starting to become just more of a badass. He's really taking things to his own hands. He's really trying to understand a lot more things. The whispers, and he understands that these whispers, the way they do things, is not right. That's what he understands. So he's going to become a leader. There's no shout of doubt. He has to become a leader because he's Rick Grimes' son, and not only that, he is perfect example of a kid who started off with when everything didn't go to shit, and then grew up within the shit. You know what I mean? Now he's immune to the shit. He can't smell. But listen, I would love for Robert Kirkman to continue the Walking Dead series, the comic book series. That is, I know it's probably. I know Robert Kirkman's tired. He has to be tired. I mean, he has the show, he has the comic book series, he has other comics. He also has a directing gig for the next Transformers movie. He is exhausted. He has to be exhausted. If you know anime as well, manga artists have to get these chapters throughout, during the week, and they're exhausted. So Robert Kirkman, I mean, even though he's not doing it weekly basis, he's still, doing so much. There's a lot of shit on his plate, okay? Will he be willing to continue this series with Carl if Rick dies? Would you like to see it? Would you, the people, love to see Carl take over? There's a lot, just because a lot of us are fans of Carl, there's a lot of us who are not fans of Carl. They may think he's a little bit too headstrong. They may think he's a little bit violent. They may think he's a little Negan. Me, I could see the points they're making, but I see him also with Rick. I could see him, just adapting to the ways of what's around him and him really taking charge. But, I mean, yeah, I could see him maybe straying off a little bit because Carl is a man who basically, or he's a kid right now, who has the best of both worlds. He has, let's say, the TV show. He has Rick's idea of a future, Rick from the comic book series idea, and then he has that Shane mentality from the TV show, honestly. I just like Shane a lot, okay? But yeah, Carl, I would love to see him. I would love to see him grown. I would love to see him, see what he does other than Rick. If he can accomplish more than Rick, can he sustain life? Can he sustain this community? We don't even know if this community and stuff is going to last. If all these happy days are going to last. Maybe it was just peaceful for that, that certain amount of time. Or maybe it just goes to shit. You don't know. Maybe all this society, what Rick's trying to build, what Maggie's trying to build, like, what if all that shit just, this is the point where all that shit goes away again, and we're back to square one, going on the road, finding food. It's just donezo. It's done. It's done. A lot of people are, from those communities are gone, and it's Alpha's way or the Whisperer's way. Who knows? But I'm just visualizing, it doesn't go that way, and that Carl does step up, and he does, lead this group of people, and he has his own way. He has a violent way. I just see Carl having a violent type of way, more of a maybe not shoot first kind of way, but maybe judge. He will be executioner. Like he will send somebody in prison. And he will say off with his head. I see like a Julius Caesar type of way. But anyway, not Julius Caesar, or like from the Romans back in the day. I want to see though. I want to see what Kirkman would do though. It's just speculation. Like it's just me thinking out loud. What would Kirkman do? I'm pretty sure Kirkman would do something way different, like something that a lot of people wouldn't think of, or a lot of people did think about it, but then he was going to go that route or not. Kirkman's a smart man. Whatever he's been doing from The Walking Dead, man, the storyline. I mean, it's realistic, it's plausible, it's intriguing. It's a slow burn, man. It's a little bit of a slow burn sometimes, but then when it hits, it hits. I mean, I love what Kirkman does. I loved what he did with Rick Grimes. I love the Rick. Rick is just a character that's just been through a lot. He's tired. He's probably like Robert Kirkman, Kirkman's been through the ups and downs, up and down, and he's right now at this time of his life, it's like a little bit peaceful. He has the money, he has his success, but he knows he still has work to do. There's work to do, and he sees a future beyond this. I think a lot of Rick's ideals is Robert Kirkman's, and it would just be interesting. It would be interesting if he was too tired out to have the same motivation and mentality for Carl. Carl is definitely, because he doesn't, I think he just feels like, what, Carl, I want to make him, this little mini badass. I want him to have his own ideals and stuff, but let's focus on Rick just for now, and then let's start passing that torch. But for him to go beyond, Rick and go to another character like Carl and focus on Carl for how many runs? I mean, it's very tiresome. I would love to see it, but realistically, I would think Kirkman would want to do a prologue type deal there. But if he were to do that, it'd be interesting. I would really love to see if Carl does stray from the path of Rick, if he does kind of become a little bit more executioner. If even your community is up, in a rise, or he still has to move, and he's like telling this whole story to other survivors in a campfire or something like that. Or maybe he's the last one standing, and humanity just couldn't make it, and they had their chance, now they're gone. Who knows? I would really love to see Carl's story after Rick's story has ended, but if it doesn't happen, I think Kirkman does deserve that rest, and definitely does deserve to do other things in his life, because he is very successful and he has done this for a very long time. And so, but I would love to see Carl grown up and see where this is going, and see a lot more arcs and a lot more betrayal, death, zombies, and all that good stuff. Thank you guys for listening. Please let me know what you guys think. Do you guys want to see the continuation with Carl or not? Do you want to say Rick's gone, don't need to read this anymore, I'm good, let's just have that little prologue, we're good, Kirkman? Let me know. Like the video if you like, comment below, want to hear you guys' thoughts, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time, to another video of The Walking Dead. See you guys. Carl!